Here I am again. Talking about goals because I believe that pretty much humans are always achieving or striving to achieve some type of goals, whether it's literally feeding yourself or like finding a girlfriend or building a business or making money. Like there's always usually a strive, a desire towards something. However, what I found personally is that your motivation, or you could say your subconscious, your heart, there's a bunch of different names for this. I personally like the name the heart because the subconscious is the one is kind of responsible for feelings. On the other hand, you might have guessed there's the mind, and that's like responsible for thoughts. The thing is that your goals, if you really want to achieve them, have to be the goals of the heart, because it's difficult to explain, but like the heart is the subconscious and it's responsible for most of your behavior, for like all of your habits, for your preferences, your long-term memory. I think your short-term memory is in the mind, but like your long-term memory is also in the subconscious. So pretty much your subconscious rules most of your life, whether you like it or not. By the way, there's also the spirit, not to forget, which is actually like the real you, but that's maybe something for another video. You could call this like the awareness or the attention. But anyway, the goals that you have, and I'm talking about you because you are actually, if I just really quickly pull up a pen, what you are is really just this last point. So these two are not really you. Once again, topic for another video. But the goals you have inside of this life, inside of this incarnation, if you'd like, are usually the goals from the heart. If you want to kind of have a happy, fulfilled life, these feelings of happiness, of fulfillment, of success, of abundance, these feelings come from the heart. So that's why we set the goals by looking at the heart. Now the problem, this is by the way a really strange star. I am going to delete this. Now the problem I have experienced with setting goals is that it's kind of a bit, how do you call it, like unambiguous or ambiguous. Like it's a bit strange, because how do you know what you want if you don't already know what you want, if that makes sense? It's kind of like you're trying to find something but you're not really sure like what is it. For example, if you have never really gone to Canada, how do you know that you want to live in Canada? It's kind of a goal which I had at a point, and I was always questioning, now why do I have this goal? I mean, I've never been there, so how do I actually know? Well, the thing is, you cannot know. You cannot know. How can you know if you like football if you have never played football? Like, you won't know until you try. But the thing is, there's so many things in the universe that trying all of them can be a technique, but I mean, I don't know how effective that's going to be. Because if you have to try every type of work there is, if you have to try every type of like exercise there is, I mean, exercise maybe doesn't take as long, but work definitely does. If you have to try every single place on earth, think about this. If you had to find out what your goal was in terms of like living or basically home, then imagine if you had to travel the entire world and see every single place in order to find it. That's going to take way too much time. It's not going to be fun. We want something that's easier and quicker because we don't have all the time in the world. Unfortunately, maybe in the future there is infinite life, but as of right now, I don't know yet. So you have to find something quicker. How do you do this? Well, the mistake that people make, and I'm actually going to draw this by a straight line, is that people start in the physical by looking at their goals. However, this reality is composed of a physical and a metaphysical counterpart. The metaphysical is the part we cannot see. The metaphysical is consistent out of one thing only, and it's energy. And the physical is consistent as well out of energy. However, the physical is like a material, the metaphysical is non-material. So basically everything there is energy, but there's a physical counterpart to this, which is where you can see things, you can touch things, things are real, and you have the metaphysical counterpart where things are like virtual, essentially. And by the way, I'm drawing on a very small mouse pad, so forgive me for not necessarily drawing so neat. But anyway, the metaphysical is virtual, the physical reality is real. Now the problem is with goals, people start in the physical. So they start trying to find for example, the exact goal they want, the exact type of work, the exact exercise, the exact house, what will make them fulfilled. The problem is that everything starts in the metaphysical. This is the truth. This is the root cause of the physical reality is the metaphysical. Of course, the metaphysical also flows into the physical because, and I don't want to make this too in depth, but I just like talking about this stuff. But you create the physical from the metaphysical. So it starts virtually, then it becomes real. However, when it is real, it also turns back into metaphysical because you start to have opinions and judgments and convictions and feelings about your reality. So you are living in this physical reality right now. Perhaps you are living somewhere with your parents or on your own. It doesn't really matter. But you have a physical reality of this, and then your metaphysical is also influenced by this. Anyway, it's like a feedback loop. But too much off tangent. Goals, we have to start in the metaphysical. We have to start by looking at what are the actual metaphysical goals. Because once we know kind of the, let me just put it like this. Once we know the metaphysical goals, then these are going to turn into the physical. So once we know what we want in a metaphysical space, then it becomes true in the physical space. Easiest example I can give you, and by the way, if you hadn't already noticed, the metaphysical is usually the feelings and also the thoughts. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to call this the feelings because these are the strongest force of energy. And then these feelings are going to turn into something physical. So the easiest feeling is the feeling of abundance. Or just the first one that came to my mind, actually. If you feel really abundant, for some people, that's really going to manifest in maybe like $1,000 a month. But for other people, like actual abundance, feeling of abundance is going to manifest into like, what I was going to do is like a 1 million. But yeah, let's just do 10 million. Like, there's no difference because money is infinite. That's maybe a topic for another video as well. Anyway, for some people, it will manifest into like $1,000 per month. And that will make them feel abundant, which means that their heart desires abundance. And the physical counterpart of this abundance feeling is $1,000 per month. Other people might desire more. So they have like, for example, $10 million per month, what they desire. This is just a physical counterpart of this feeling. So truly what you desire, truly what the heart desires is abundance. Because the heart only understands feelings. It doesn't understand thoughts or concepts or boxes or categories. This is what the mind does understand, but the heart does not. So for example, if you desire love, then for some people that's going to mean like love with the universe. For other people it's going to mean love with like a specific person. The metaphysical is really what your heart wants and what it's satisfied with. And only afterwards, only after this kind of feeling has been has become a habit, you could say, or has been achieved, then it turns into the physical counterpart. So how I actually did this myself, to kind of share a bit about my process, is I started by looking at the metaphysical. So I asked myself, like, what does my heart truly want to feel? I did not ask, what do I want to achieve? Because that's immediately going to the mind. But I asked, like, what do I want to feel? And what feelings do I want to experience most? For some people, this is going to be freedom, and then, like, mostly freedom. For other people, it's going to be achievement. For other people, it's going to... So some people might be really happy by working a job. That means they might not have freedom, but they might have achievement, or they might have something else. But the true thing is that your heart desires a feeling. And whatever feeling that is, that determines what is going to be the physical goal. And you will be able to answer this question not with the mind, not by trying to ask yourself, what do you want to feel, but by feeling, what do you want to feel? So the key to this, if you hadn't already noticed, is feeling. So ask yourself, or really feel, what do you want to feel? Is it freedom? Is it achievement? Is it abundance? Is it, for me personally, it was actually feeling at home. So I'm not going to make this too long, but feeling at home and just feeling like I'm in the right place is a goal for my subconscious, because I didn't really feel in this physical reality at home right now with like the environment, the work I'm doing, which is actually a very good thing because it revealed this, you could say, like desire or goal for the heart of feeling at home. So first figure out what do you want to feel. Now you will have multiple. So I will, for example, I want to feel freedom, as well as feel at home, as well as feel some achievement, as well as feel like abundance. And some people are going to have one thing more than others. So for example, at home would be like more a feeling for me. Achievement is less so. Abundance is as well like pretty much a lot. So you will have different scales of every feeling. It doesn't matter, by the way, you don't have to write down and pay attention and remember all of the feelings. You just have to feel them, of course. But then what's actually going to happen, and you can do this in two ways. I recommend you do the first one, which is you just completely let go and you kind of let reality show you the goal, is you step into these feelings as much as possible during the day. So just pretend that you already feel at home. Pretend you already feel abundant. With time, what's going to happen, because reality starts in the metaphysical, is it's going to flow into the physical. So reality is going to, or reality, like your world is going to change. And things are going to appear that are going to help you to achieve this feeling in physical reality, if that makes sense. So if you really step into freedom, if you don't feel free right now and your heart desires freedom as the top thing, then if you step into this feeling of freedom as much as you can during the day, you just feel free, even if it's not true, you pretend as if you were super free, then what's going to happen with time is reality is going to show you opportunities. And what might happen, as an example, is reality is going to start showing you people who are traveling. It's going to start to show you like Instagram posts with people who are traveling, and that makes you feel good. So this might be like a physical goal that satisfies the metaphysical goal. I hope this is sort of starting to make sense, because I'm also explaining this to understand it better myself. But it starts in the metaphysical, then reality is going to show you something physical, and that physical goal is going to kind of represent the metaphysical goal. Okay? Another example might be achievement. If you really value achievement, then if you step into this feeling of achievement as much as you can during the day, even if it's not true, you pretend you have already achieved a lot, what's going to happen is reality is going to show you maybe like a type of business model you can use to actually feel achieved. Or it's going to show you people who have achieved big things, like people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all of these people. And then that goal, that physical goal of the business model, the physical goal of the achievement of maybe changing the world, of like removing plastic from the ocean, the physical aspect of that is there to serve the metaphysical feeling. So that's going to satisfy the metaphysical feeling. Let's see if I can find another example. Yeah, abundance, of course, if you want to feel really abundant and you step into this feeling as much as you can during the day, I hope you get the point by now. Reality is possibly going to show you like huge amounts of money. It's either going to show you millions, maybe even billions, if that's truly what you feel abundant with, and that this amount of money is the physical counterpart of you feeling abundant. So that money is satisfying this feeling of abundance. Okay, hope this sort of makes sense. You can try this exercise out for yourself now. So the first step is you actually have to feel into what feelings you want to experience. And this is something that you cannot really do with your mind. So if you have not so much experience with intuition or with feeling, what I recommend you do is put on music, go for a run, do some exercise, do what you enjoy, just to get into a state of feeling. Maybe take a warm bath, go for a walk, it doesn't matter. Just get yourself into a feeling state. Music is probably the best. Then what you do is you figure out what feelings you want to experience, and you maybe write them down, and you step into those feelings as much as possible. Then you watch your physical reality. You really pay attention to what happens over the next few days, maybe even over the next few hours, depending on how effective and how long you step into this feeling. Then you check about what it actually what reality is going to show you, and you see if it satisfies this feeling. So final example, if you feel like freedom is ready for you, see if travel resonates, if travel makes you feel good, maybe if a specific country makes you feel good, and then you can be pretty sure that the goal is travel. However, keep in mind that travel is just a physical counterpart, so your heart is just going to desire the feeling of freedom, but your mind is going to be quite excited about travel. So it's always a balance. It's never like the heart is 100% the king in your reality. You have to always pay attention to the metaphysical. No, the physical is just as important as the metaphysical, because the physical is all that we have. It's basically the experience that we're having. Anyway, the mind wants to be happy with the goal as well as the heart, and the easiest way to achieve this is by starting from the heart, then finding the equivalent of the mind. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about this, please drop them in the comments, because I would love to have a look at them, answer them, maybe share some of your desires if you feel like doing that. But yeah, with that said, hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to seeing you in the next one.